A job today that I've been putting off for ages is insulating the loft in the clinic, and it's just a horrible job because I've got to climb up into the confined space right through that hole there, and there is a load of rubble. The place has been re-roofed before, and so there's bits of broken slate lying on top of the plaster. There's wiring up there. It's dusty and it's filthy. So I've got myself like a hazmat suit. I've got a light, a mask, something on my head. I'm going to pass these rolls through. I've gone for 200 ml of Rockwool. I did do due diligence looking at alternatives. I looked at natural wool. Well, it's basically 8 times the price. And I looked at a material which is made out of recycled plastic bottles, which has been spun into a fine thread and then turned into a fleece. It's halfway between this and the wool, so it's probably sort of 3 or 4 times the price of Rockwool. But I've got these light fittings in the ceiling here, which, although they are fire rated, they do produce heat on the top side, and so the plastic bottle one is no good. Unless I put extra equipment above them. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use this. This stuff actually performs really, really well. It's not as good as the wool, the natural wool, but it's as good as any other, and it's cheap. Each one of these rolls cost about 35 quid. And does 6 square meters, so I think I'm looking at about perhaps, I don't know, 3 rolls each side of the valley, so maybe 6 times 3 6 is 8, maybe 200 quid. I can insulate this loft. It's going to make huge savings because at the moment the girls can't seem to get the temperature above about 17 degrees in here, so they're all, which is fine really if you're moving, but if you're sitting working, it's too cold. So I'm hoping this is going to make a massive difference. And then that will be one of the last horrible, shitty jobs that I've been avoiding, ticked out of my life forever. So, happy days. Let's get on with it. I can't procrastinate any longer. That is the light tunnel. You can see the lath and plaster on it. So there's a Velux window in the middle of that. And then you can see it's very, very shallow space down here. That's the lead valley running right up the middle of the building that I replaced earlier in the year. That is a bathroom extraction that I need to fix onto the underside of the roof here, picking up one of my new vents. There's one there. And then around the other side, this is the front of the building. You can see the round chimneys, 1, 2, 3 there on the party wall. And then towards the front, I did manage to get some insulation when I repaired the timber work at the front valley there. But it's not too bad. But there's this sort of junk lying around, and it's just very, very dirty. But do you know what? I'm just going to leave most of this here. I'm just going to try not to put too much of it in the air that I'm breathing. These are the light fittings that have been quite crudely put through the lath from underneath. But the insulation's just gonna, I've bought 200 mil, so it will just fly straight over the top of these rafters. I'm not gonna try and cut it into the rafters. There's really no point, because the rafters are quite shallow in their depth anyway. They're only 3 inches. It's amazing, just standing in the loft hatch here. The warm air is just billowing past me out of the building and disappearing out the roof. So I can only imagine how much heat we're actually losing through these uninsulated ceilings. I mean, this this space is very well ventilated up here. It has to be to get rid of any moisture that builds up. But my God, aren't we losing some heat through this hole? Oh, just amazing. So I'm expecting some huge gains from 8 inches of Rockwool. Pretty tight around the back here. But if I can get the insulation all the way around the back of this tunnel, it's going to be even warmer. I've missed a bit. I'm too big for this job. Oh my God. So there it is, the finished article. I managed to get some rigid insulation around that light tunnel. I even crawled down the side there. And right the way to the front of the building. Another job jobbed. Yes, ticking them off. Now I'm going the other side of the building, which has already got a client in it. Well, not actually at the moment, but she's paying rent, and she's not a client, she's a tenant. And so, yeah, up through that hole I go. Basically, same again, because this is a game of two halves. This is a roof that goes down in the middle with a valley and then back up the other side. So, up here though, I've just remembered another job that I had actually put off doing because it's a bastard, which is, you can't really see it at the moment because there's a horrible great big light shining on it, but I've got to be very careful. And there we have it. Fully cosy. One Regency building tucked up for winter. A bit late, but hey, can't have everything. That is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely stoked. And now I'm going down because actually I can feel the temperature difference already between up here and down there. So I'm going to call it a day, and thanks for watching. So there it is. For the sake of 200 quid, this building is now warm, and a bit of effort, but it was worth it. All in a day's work for Jim Bob.